Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. I would like to welcome everyone in this evening to this episode. This is going to be a good episode. Let me give you a proper introduction. Welcome to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. And this is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. So we'd like to thank everyone. We'd like to give a shout out to Manhattan Entrepreneur Academy. Manhattan Entrepreneur Academy is an academy that's just started. We are on the teachable.com platform, and we are also on the school.com platform. We will send those links out. We're also starting a program where we will start to go to after school programs. Either there's an after school program, or if there's a summer program, or if you are the dean or the founder of a private school in New York City, we would like to come in. We would like to help your kids to create vision boards. So we do have a time slot where we will come in. We'll help kids create vision boards and see what do they want to do with their future. We want to kind of pick their brains and see what are they looking towards becoming, and we want to help shape them and give them the knowledge and the tools to become what they want to become, instead of sticking to the everyday routine. We want to break these kids out of the matrix. We want to break these kids out of the everyday systems and help them to become financially free. At least cultivate a mindset of thinking of becoming financially free. And we want to help them mentally and energetically learn how to break through the rubble and the negativity and the negative energy that tries to hold them down. Because a lot of these kids, we understand that they come from bad neighborhoods. They come from neighborhoods that are filled with generational curses and bad mindsets and the crabs in a bucket mentality. So what we want to do is we want to release these kids energetically from those spiritual altars, you know what I mean? Those energetic spiritual altars that want to keep them bound into poverty, keep them bound into the hood, keep them bound in places and in areas of their lives that will have them living in poverty, having them adopting a mindset that was never meant for them to adopt, and oppressing them, keeping them oppressed inside of a system to the point where they have to follow the rules. So we want to break those kids out of the matrix. We want to start to help them while they're young. We want to try to help these kids break these generational curses at a young age, or at least cultivate the mentality to know that there are some battles they're going to face. They may have to lose some family members. They may have to lose some friends, but they need to be locked in and focused and making sure that they can recreate a new foundation within their family, even if they have to leave their family behind. So we want to start that young. We want to get these kids educated financially. We want to get these kids looking towards the future at a young age. We want to get these kids knowledgeable about checkbooks, checks and balances. We want to get these kids knowledgeable, like I said, about financial literacy, wealth strategies, and even trust funds. So we want to start at a young age and try to help these children where they will not have to depend on the system. As you can see, food stamps shut down. Be cash assistance next. Food stamps, cash assistance, anything that the government is used for so many years to control people. Now they're taking it away from them, and now they're leaving people to fend for themselves. That's just like me. It's just like, I'm gonna tell you how it is. It's just like me meeting a woman. She just got out of a bad relationship, abusive relationship. Here I come along, instead of allowing this woman to heal. This is and what I mean by this, I don't mean literal abusive relationship. This is what the government does. It breaks up the families that's in these lower economic neighborhoods. What they do is they send they oppress the man to a point that either he will have to compromise and do some criminal activity to go to jail that breaks up the household, that automatically sets a wedge between the husband and the wife, the woman and the child. He goes to jail. Once he goes to jail, here comes the government. The government comes in like, I see that, your man's not taking care of his business and this and that, and let me help you out. So he's basically the government being a complete narcissist, having a narcissist attitude when it comes to finances and the lower economic community. What they do is They come in, offer all these benefits. They love bomb you. That's what a narcissist does. They love bomb you. Well, we're going to help you with your rent. I'm going to pay rent for you, baby. I'm going to give you money for food. If you need a car, I'm going to give you a job. I'm going to help you with this and that. So I'm going to help you with daycare. So that's what the government does. And the government has started this for so long. So this is like basically love bombing a woman to the point that she falls so deeply in love with you, and then you just up and disappear. Now, if you establish a relationship with these kids, you have established a foundation in this household, as you have the kids look at you as the dad. You have adopted these children, given them your name. You have come in as the savior, and then all of a sudden, you just up and leave. You just throw everything in the trash. No reason why, no reason like, this isn't working out. There's no 2-week notice. There's no signs of this is going to happen. And you just totally destroy this woman, her household, after given the idea that you were a better fit than the original man that was supposed to be there in that household. What was supposed to happen is they were supposed to allow the man to be placed in his rightful position, giving him all the tools and resources necessary to succeed as being the man of that household, so he would not have to lower his standard to do certain things to take care of his family. So they put him in a state of survival, came in like a savior, and stripped this long pattern. It was all planned. So this is not part of the message, but someone needs to hear this. So this is why we're going to put this in this message, in this podcast episode. But I want you to know that we want to start these kids off young, because look what just happened. The food stamp system has been around for decades. Probably longer than that, probably a century. I don't know when it was created, but it was created with an idea of what I just described. The food stamp system was created so people will throw away their dreams. They would throw away their energy to create. They would throw away their energy and their mindset. See, I'm going to tell you something. When someone has nothing, they start to be. You're more creative when you have to start from scratch. When you don't have anything, you're more creative. But what that does is, when someone gives you a pacifier, it's just like me being raised in poverty. Being raised in poverty, I did everything I could. I learned everything I needed to learn to pull myself out of poverty. I have a son, and once I have a son, I teach him everything that I know. He doesn't have to be raised in the hood. He doesn't have to be raised around certain individuals and go through certain things like the homeless system or live on the street because of everything I went through. He shouldn't have to repeat what I've went through. So once he has a son, he doesn't repeat what I've went through. He's raised a different way. So once he has a son, his son will probably be my grandson if some strong stoic morals are not passed down and poured into my son. If he becomes my grandson, if he becomes so spoiled that it actually weakens him to the point where it's like we'll have to start all over. We'll have to start back over. So they say hard times create strong men, and then good times. Well, hard times create strong men, and strong men create soft times, and then soft times create soft men. So basically saying this, when you have a hard time, it makes you strong when you have to go through these obstacles. But then as being someone who is strong, you start to create situations, because you don't want people to go through what you go through. You start to create softer times, and then those softer times that you create start to produce softer men, because they have such a cushion that you didn't have. So you have to find some way to kind of balance out when you are wealthy, or when you do have a certain economic status, to the point where you won't just give your kids everything. You have to let them fight and fend for some things, because you will create another soft generation, and they will bring the bloodline right back to where you just pulled the bloodline from, if you're not careful, if you give them too much comfort. So there has to be a balance. There has to be morals and stoic principles placed inside your son, and there has to be certain morals and principles, a foundation that's built dealing with your daughters as well. So, but we want to start off with why I say finance and helping these children. And this is for our program with Manhattan Entrepreneur Academy, me, myself, Caleb Thompson, and another individual which created this institution, which is now, like I said, is now available online at teachable.com. It's now available at school.com, SKOOL.com. And we want to kind of move that into the neighborhoods and start to teach these kids at a young age. We want to start off first with helping them develop a vision board. What do they want to become? We want to pick their brains, see what right now where they are at a young age, what do they see that's possible. It's good to catch kids at a younger age because this is where their creativity hasn't been spoiled by society. They don't know that they need the only thing they probably know that they like, that society likes or envisions as a trend is probably a little boo-boo doll. But they're not thinking about, I need to get a Ferrari, or I need to have my hair this certain way. They're not so engaged in social media to the point at such a young age. Don't get me wrong, they see trends everywhere. There's trends of neighborhoods, there's universal trends, there's international trends, there's food trends, there's shoe trends, there's toy trends all over the internet, TikTok, everywhere you go. But it hasn't gotten to the point where society has caused these kids to lose their creativity to the point where they wear a mask to fit in with society, and they have lost their identity. They still have hope of walking in organic authenticity, and that's what we want to help them to keep, that creative part, that authentic part of themselves. And one way to do that is to help them to become financially free, because who you become, it's easy to get money, but the person that you have to develop to become in order to not only gain the finances, but maintain the finances and also cultivate compassion to help someone else, that takes more work than getting money. I can make a call to a guy in Abu Dhabi right now. We can get $2.5 million at 5% annual over 10 years, and we can make it a deal just like that. I can make a call to the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. I can make a call to Shoreline Capital. I can make a call to some of these places and have millions of dollars of capital at my expense right now. But it's not about getting the money. First is, people don't want to go through the process. They just want the money. But the process is, you have to make sure that you are completely ready to be able to operate in a way that will help you to gain more capital. You want to invest in the right thing. So that's my stand right now, is to finish going through the process of not only becoming an entrepreneur, but also being the one that's able to handle large amounts of capital to the point that once the money hits my hand, it will not fall. I won't ever fall off. So you have to go through the process. A lot of people don't want to go through the process. They want the quick money. They don't want to, but it takes more effort, it takes more energy, it takes more time, it takes more learning, it takes more selfishness. You know what I mean? If you really care about yourself and really care about what you're trying to do and chasing your dreams, it takes more self-discipline in building the man or the woman that you need to become in order to be able to handle large capitals of finance, a large amounts of capital, a large amounts of revenue, and being able to be knowledgeable and financially literate enough to know where to invest your money. You have to gain the information and knowledge that you need first. That is the building of the person. You have to build yourself. You have to be knowledgeable about certain business markets before you invest, or before you create a business, or you have to build yourself first inwardly before you can just get a lot of money. You're going to blow it. Some people want a lot of money right now. They'll blow it on cars, get a house, live comfortably, overdose, and be right back on the street. Or if they don't overdose, so you have to get rid of some of these habits. Some of these habits cannot go, whatever it took for you to make $10,000 to go to $20,000, there's some habits you're going to have to leave behind to hit that new tax bracket. Whatever you did to get you to the point to make $250,000, when it's time to go to $500,000, everything that you learn to get you to $250,000, some of those things cannot go with you. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You might have to sacrifice, you might have to sacrifice certain type of foods to get you to the next level. Because you want to make sure that you have enough energy and that your body is right and able to operate on a level for where you're trying to go. There's no way that you can go from this state to that state, record 2 podcasts, do some marketing, have some business calls, and then you're all out of energy before 12 o'clock, and now you need a nap. And I mean, this is just you have to learn how to discipline yourself when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your time, and when it comes to what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go in life. So whatever got you to $250,000, that's not going to work on the next level. Whatever got you to $500,000, that's not going to work when you're trying to step into a millionaire lifestyle. You're going to have to sacrifice something to get into the next level of life. Some people are where they are right now in life. You know why? Because they're not willing to sacrifice that habit. You're not willing to sacrifice giving up things that are killing you. You know, if you're drinking and you know you don't need to drink, you know, if it's making you groggy, it may feel good. At least start to set a day. Every Friday, I'm gonna have me a drink. But Monday through Friday, I'm gonna work. And I'm gonna work and do what I have to do, and I'm gonna focus. Friday, I'm gonna reward myself. Set some type of. Now, I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but what I am saying, if you want to go to the next level in your life, I don't care if you want to wake up on time every day, you're gonna have to go to bed early. You're gonna have to sacrifice watching movies till midnight. There's something that you are gonna have to sacrifice for everything that you want to gain in life. I don't care what it is. That's just how things work. Sacrifice, suffering, and sacrifice are the keys to the doors that you want to open in life. People don't want to suffer. They don't want to. They like to be comfortable. So you cannot get to the next level in your life if you don't suffer. If you don't suffer, or if you don't sacrifice, suffer, you're never going to be able to get to the next level. Those are keys to get to where you want to go in life, to get through certain doors, suffering and sacrifice. But anyways. This episode is called Parkinson's Law. Now, I know, and if you haven't heard of Parkinson's Law, I'm going to give you a description of exactly what it is. Now, Parkinson's Law is, this is Parkinson's Law, getting more done in less time. Once again, if you're just not tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. This is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. I will do the shout outs to the certain companies for marketing and advertising reasons at the end of the show, and for our sponsors. Parkinson's Law. So Parkinson's Law is this. Parkinson's Law is one of my favorite productivity principles. It simply says this. This is what Parkinson's Law says. It says work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. What does that mean? Now, this is what that means. If I give myself all day to finish a task that could have taken me 30 minutes or an hour, guess what? It's going to take all day. But if I create a structure, urgency, and focus, I can accomplish more in less time and still have energy left over. This is basically what Parkinson's Law means. That means this. If I need to, let's say, there's a certain thing that I do on a certain day. So on a certain day of the week, I will go to a car lot. I will go to a strategic car lot. So I will go and find a car that's on the internet at a car lot. Just say the new Ferrari Daytona just came out. So what I would do is, as a art of manifestation of where I'm trying to go in life, I would go to a car lot. I would go in. I would talk to the car dealer, and what I would do is I would go and I would sit inside of that brand new 2025 Ferrari Daytona. I would sit inside of it, learn how it feels. I would like to play with the radio, look at the wheels, look at the hood, pop the trunk. I would see the trunk storage in the trunk space. I would get familiar with that car as a act of manifestation of me driving that. I might not drive that exact car, but I'm getting myself familiar in my brain. I'm rewiring my brain to understand that I can drive an exotic car. I would watch videos on YouTube on how to drive a new Lamborghini Aventador. A new one just came out. I want to learn how to drive it. I want to learn how to use the shift paddle. I have to watch those videos on learning how to drive those cars, looking at the specifications of that product, of that car. How fast does it go? How does the motor sound? So as a part of me, this is just me personally, I would go to the Bentley car lot. I would go sit inside of a Bentley. I'll even go and sit in the back seat and imagine if someone else is driving me through New York City, through Manhattan. I would sit in the back of this car, dress nice, with my car, flip the table down as if I'm eating. I'll probably be in a Bentley eating ramen noodles. You know me, you still have to find something to balance you, to keep you humble. That's a lot of times where I've had I've had money. I have a lot of money. I'm not saying I don't have any now, but I had large amounts of money, but I would still go to 7-Eleven. I would still go and get my coffee. You know why? Because it kept me humble. When I first started to go out, I used to always make coffee at home, but I said, you know what? When I'm not at home, I'm not going to go to Starbucks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to have a small coffee budget so I can be able to enjoy coffee on the go outside of my home before I go to work or on my way to work. So this is probably years ago. This is years ago when I was traveling as a chef. Probably traveled to every D1 school all over the U.S. working as a top national chef. So, but I set aside a budget, but I still get coffee from 7-Eleven or from a convenience store to this day, no matter what. You know why? Because it helps me to understand where I came from. It helps me to understand there's things that's wrong with my teeth. You know what I mean? I could have got my teeth done. I have Medicare. I have Medicaid. I have good insurance. I have good insurance. I have dental. I have paid insurance that I still have to this day. I can easily go get my teeth fixed. I can get certain things done. You know why I don't do it at this point? I don't do it at this particular point for the simple. I have time. It's just because that when I run into certain types of people, there's a strategy to why I do certain things. I don't just do things to do things. There's a strategy why I do this. Why I do this is for the simple fact is that when I meet someone, I want someone to look beyond my appearance, look beyond the appearance and really try to get to know exactly who I am, and I want to get to know who they are. That helps me to understand that I can meet, and you know why I do this? Because I met someone that was on the street that was extremely intelligent. I could not understand why that person was homeless. I could not understand why that person wasn't dressed a certain way just from the intellect that was coming out of this person's mouth. That helps you to understand. You never know who you're talking to. That person could have been an angel for all I know. And I turn around, the person just disappeared. You never know who you're entertaining, who you're talking to, who can pour into you. So you want to get beyond the physical. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? What do they say? What's the word that I'm looking for? Some, not narratives, but when someone calls someone something, like you say, all black people eat watermelon, that's well, maybe y'all can help me out with that later. I forgot the word for it. But what I mean by that is that, now don't get me wrong, you have to have discernment. Some people are who they look, who they are, that's a part of them. They look is a part of them, or a part of the character, or a part of the way that they see themselves, but that doesn't take away from who that person is spiritually or intellectually, and what knowledge do they hold within their soul. That doesn't take away from it. You can find someone that's dressed very very sophisticatedly, but they're really not that intellectual. They really can't hold a conversation at a certain caliber that can help move you to the next level. Do you get me? Everyone can be around wearing a suit, but that doesn't mean that everyone is an expert in their particular business sector that they operate in. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean just because this guy has a suit on that he knows all the business state laws of New York City. He doesn't mean he's a lawyer. Just because she has a certain type of attire on doesn't mean that she knows about healthcare. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that. Clothes doesn't mean anything. They don't mean anything. Clothes don't mean anything. You need to get to know who a person is beyond the physical appearance. You know, you can't look at someone and say, "Oh man, they look weak. They look nice. Let me destroy them, or let me try to get over on them." You're going to run into a brick wall because you have to get beyond. This is chess. This is not checkers. Everything that you think that is, it's really not. You know, and that's something I want to leave with you. Everybody that you think is weak is really not. Everyone that you think is smart is really not. Everyone that presents themselves a certain way, they're really not. You know, you have to really get to know people. Do you know that there's people that's been married for over 20 years and they still really don't have an idea of the person that they're married to because they can't just get beyond the looks? Yeah, she's beautiful. Yes, she may have a good job in the real estate. But don't you know that there's a dark side that you've never been introduced to? If you cross a certain line, that part just hasn't been triggered. Now, I'm not saying go and try to trigger your spouse to figure out who they are. There's little signs that people will tell exactly who they are if you watch them close enough. But some people are living with the very person that despises them and that is jealous of them and doesn't want them to move forward. They want to move forward in their career. They want to be the partner that does good. But some people, just because, you know, they can get some every night and she looks beautiful, don't even know that this person you're sleeping with is draining all of your energy, your finances, and doing beauty spells on you so they can look better. They're in competition with you, but they're telling you they love you. There are certain things, and it's been going on for 20 years. You don't even know who you're married to. You don't even know who you're with. You know what I mean? You don't even know who you're having kids with. You know, you're reproducing with. So what I want to tell you is this. You have to, someone needed that. But anyways, let's get back to what we're talking to. So someone needed that, but I can accomplish more in less time and still have energy left over if I learn how to block my time. That means this: if I say that, you know, I have to fill out a certain, let's say, application to get some capital for a property. Let's say I'm looking at a property that's in New Jersey. It's $110,000. I want to try to get a loan for it. I want to try to get a loan, and how I'm going to get that loan, I'm going to leverage another business. I'm going to leverage the profits and the income of another business, not the particular business that I'm going to use to get the loan, but because I own another business, I'm going to leverage that business against the loan and let them know that, okay, my company here wants to get a loan from you guys, no matter who it is, maybe a bank or whatever. And they said, okay, well, no, what collateral do you have? Okay, well, I have another business that is in my name or in my company's name that I want to use as leverage in order, or collateral, to get this loan. Okay, so I get the loan. So once I can, so if that's something that I need to do and I can get it done, just say something that simple. If I need to make some calls, talk to these people, get the process started, fill out the application, let them run my credit, help them to understand what I'm going to use the collateral. So if I need to do that and it only takes me 20 minutes to do that, if I give myself all day to do that one call, guess what it's going to take? It's going to take all day. That's Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law basically says this: if I give myself all day to do one simple task, if I need to go to the grocery store and I'm saying, well, you know, I'm going to go to the grocery store today, you know, before the day is over, it's going to take all day. But if you tell yourself, at 8 o'clock in the morning, as soon as the grocery store open, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Excuse me. I'm going to go to the grocery store as soon as it opens, get all of my groceries, take them home, put them up, and then go about my day. Don't you know that task has just not been canceled? You have a lot more energy left over to do whatever you want to do the rest of the day. But if you linger around, just talk about, oh, I still need to go to the grocery store. Oh man, I still need to do this. Oh, I still need that's how long it would take. So, and that is the same thing with manifestation and dealing with Parkinson's law. If you set a specific intention and focus towards completing something and put it in a structure is basically like this. A structured time block is basically from 8 o'clock to 8:30. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard to do, because your energy, your emotions is not going to match up with what you have down on paper. But you have to make yourself. That's called discipline. You have to make yourself do what you wrote that you're going to do. And once you do it, it's going to feel like a small win to your brain. It's going to feel like a small win to yourself. And once you go grocery shopping, get yourself some Get yourself some snack cakes and eat one on the way out as a reward for you doing something that you didn't feel like doing, but you did it anyway. That's called discipline. Self-discipline is doing what I don't want to do, but doing it like I love it. That's what discipline is. So that's what, but if I create a structure with urgency and focus, I can accomplish more in less time and still have energy left over. So that is what Parkinson's law is. Now, I'm going to give you 3 talk points. Number 1 is this. This is the psychology behind Parkinson's law. Number 1, the first talk point, the psychology behind Parkinson's law. Okay, I wanted to help you to understand something. I started realizing that, most of my busy days weren't really productive. Had busy days that really weren't productive. I was just stretching simple tasks because I had the time to. But once I understood that my brain adjusts basically effort to match the time that I give it, I began setting like more tighter and more intentional deadlines. When I tell myself, hey, you got an hour when I tell myself basically like, you got an hour to do this, my mind locks in. It's like flipping a switch and it goes from casual to committed. That's something that I wrote down. But I want you to help you to understand something. If I tell myself right now, I have 1 hour to record 2 podcasts, and I'm going to start at 6 o'clock. When I tell myself that I have 1 hour to record 2 podcasts, guess what? My mind automatically says, let's do this. Thank you guys for tuning in. This will be part 1. We will do part 2 next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. This is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. Peace.